and welcome to Growing People. I'm John Losey, and today we have a very special guest, a friend of mine and CEO of Blue Microphones, John Maier. Welcome.
Thank you.
You shared with me that you just went back to school to get your MBA degree. And what I'm curious about is a lot of people see an MBA as a first step or a step in the path towards executive leadership and towards the CEO seat. Now, you already got that seat. Why in the heck did you go back to school?
Yeah, right. It's a great question. And actually, I didn't know this about myself until I went back and got my bachelor's. But I really, really enjoy it. I really enjoy. I've always been, sort of a always curious guy about how things work and learning new stuff. And I think that's what keeps life interesting. But I went back to get my bachelor's in the mid 2000s and sort of surprised myself that how much fun I had doing it. It was really a personal goal. To kind of go backwards a little bit, I went to school for a couple of years at Illinois State, my hometown, and basically, after 2 years, decided that it wasn't for me. I was, had a great music teacher, and he was teaching me timpani and orchestral music, and I was teaching him how to play drum set. And I thought, well, I don't want to play timpani. I want to play drum set. So I basically quit school and went on the road, and that's what kind of led me to the career that I have. So I don't need the degree for my career. It's my experience and talents that have gotten me here, and some good luck and some hard work. But so I went back and got the bachelor's kind of as a sort of to prove to myself that I could do it and to show my kids and to kind of check that box. I had so much fun. I thought, I want to go back and do the master's thing. So fast forward to today, Cal Lutheran started their executive MBA program, and it kind of got me thinking again. And for me, definitely it's not a part of my career path per se. I don't need it for the job that I have. But I thought, one, I really enjoy it, really want to do it. Second is there are things that I'm learning and that I want to learn to make me a better CEO and a better leader. In fact, I've been at Blue almost 7 years now, and we've grown, 10, 15-fold. We were a very small company doing a couple of million in sales the year before I got here. And, in our industry, we're starting to become a fairly big brand and big name. And so a lot more challenges, right? There's a lot more people. There's more layers in the company. We have a whole project management layer we've never had before. And, one of the courses in the MBA program is project management, which I'm pretty interested in, kind of getting it from their perspective. I don't need to be a project manager. I don't need to learn it inside and out and be an expert at it, but I'd like to have some background. So, and then the third reason is for some things I want to do down the road. I'm really excited to share with people what we've been able to do at Blue and at some companies I've been at prior, and excited to kind of go help others do that. And I think the MBA will help me not only open some doors, but give me some background and some experience that I don't have in certain areas, because I'm strong in some and weak in others. So, if I were to define it for people, I'd say that my market and product and sales chops are strong. My finance, operations, logistics chops are weak. So it's nice for me to kind of push myself into some of those areas and learn a little bit more about it.
So how does this, you said something really interesting in that your experience brought you to where you're at, and now you're going back to school. And I wonder how many, because most people do it the other way, where they get highly educated and then their experience has to catch up with their education. Yeah. How is that relating for you? And is your experience interacting well with the education? Does that make sense as a question?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be frustrating if if it was a poor program or if you were too impatient. It definitely could be a frustrating thing. I think that people who are there's need for book smarts, and being book smart in certain things is important, but it's not nearly as important as being street smart and having experience. So I was pleasantly surprised. I've already, into the program, into a couple of terms and several classes. And it's really been a lot of fun, and it's a good group. It's a cohort program, so there's 20 of us through the entire program. And yeah, there are a few times when I see that we're going to basically be learning something that isn't real, that isn't exactly what happens in the real world. But I get sort of the point. It's like giving people some basics. But what your question reminds me of too is I really drives me nuts when I see a company say that a bachelor's degree is a requirement, because to me, yeah, if you're going to be an engineer, you probably need an education. If you're going to be an accountant, you probably need an education. But ultimately, I'd much rather have people who have experience and knowledge of how things work in the real world and interrelationships, all that stuff. So I don't put those requirements on any of our positions. And in fact, I can tell you I've said no to MBAs and yes to people who don't have a degree for the same position because they were the better person for the job. So I'm one of those kind of interesting guys in that I love the learning process, and I'm excited to get my MBA. At the same time, I don't think there's anything magical about having a degree. It's really you and your talents and your experience and what you bring to it that matters. So
yeah, the way that I process it is that it's kind of a race between your experience and the education, or like the actions, the real life actions and the theories that they are built on. And you can have great experience that's enhanced by the theories or the education that you get. And you can have great education that can only be enhanced by living into it. Yeah. So I think that you're hitting on something where it needs to be both. And you can either start off with great experience, or you can start off with great education. And when I say education, it's not just a degree.
Right.
But it's both of those things, and making sure that as you grow and as you progress professionally, you're building up that experience, but also building up on top of the theories and the why, so that you can do things on purpose.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where when I hear you talk, that's where I go. Once again, John Maier, CEO of Blue, and thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate it.